Hi, I'm Joey Gilroy, and this is We Love College Waterski. This week, my guest is Nikki Weber, and she's here to talk all about the upcoming Collegiate Nationals. Nikki, do you want to say hi?
Hello.
Hi. So, where are you from? Did you ski collegiately?
I'm from originally from Lake Lotawana, Missouri, so outside of Kansas City. I skied collegiately from 2015 to 2019 for Missouri State University. Um, Graduated from there and then went on to be a live-in ski nanny for about a year. And then now I work as an insurance underwriter and work at Bennett's Waterski in Wakeboard.
Cool. And so, at Missouri State, did you ever make nationals as a collegiate skier?
We did not. We took 10th place at regionals twice in a row, just outside the wild card.
Oh,
I did win the regional jump title in 2018 and got second place overall, I believe, that year. So skied a lot of regionals, went to nationals 3 years, even though I didn't ski, just as a tag along. But my team never did ski nationals, of course.
oh, I'm sorry if it makes you feel better. My team just this year, we came in ninth at conferences by about 100 points. So we just squeaked not going to regionals.
Yeah, the closest year we got 10th place by 10 points.
Oh,
So
that's,
yeah.
that's always the worst. But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so, uh, with that, you've been in nationals a couple times. What makes
Mm-hmm.
collegiate nationals like a special event?
I think what makes collegiate nationals a special event is just the atmosphere, like all the people together around one thing. Like, and one thing here, I like it so much at Bennett's is because it's such a small, like compressed space. So everybody is together all the time because everybody's watching both lakes at the same time,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. So the last Bennett's Nationals was my
2017.
that
Yes.
one. That was my like freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
But my team made it. I was a tag along. I was just like wasn't skiing a team, but still wanted to go, and it was really
Mm-hmm.
cool. Like I didn't realize at the time how special it was to be able to be like, oh my guy, my people are jumping on lake. I think two was whenever lake we are jumping on, and then as soon as my guy finished, Freddie Winter was starting his opener. It was
Mm-hmm.
crazy too. So you're like, oh, that's awesome. And then everyone just sprints over.
Yeah.
He's like watches a
Mm-hmm.
like a pro slalom skier just go in the middle of this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, so you mentioned that it being like kind of compressed makes it much more like community. I would call that community based, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I
what,
just, yeah, everybody's together like the whole time. It's so much fun, of
Mhm.
course.
Is there anything else that makes like a Bennett's National special?
I mean, just like the Southern hospitality of everything, like Jay and Ann, they always go over the top here. So that's one thing, like for officials and for skiers, that I feel like makes a big difference. Like all the officials, people were fighting over to be the appointed officials this year just to come back to experience it again.
Crazy. So I'm sure that for most tournaments like this, it's kind of like a fight to get officials, like
Mm-hmm.
try and track down who would want to come out to Louisiana in October.
Yeah. So it's a little different here. We're blessed to have like the ski school atmosphere. So many of the officials stay on site together, which is really nice. Um, and then so all the officials are together the whole time as well, which is really cool. Whereas normally like everybody's like scattered out at different places. So that's
Mhm.
one thing that's really nice too.
Nice. And then, so with this, you guys have had, I know, so I remember my freshman year, it was that was Jay's last national my freshman year. And then
Mm-hmm.
he announced it in the middle of the banquet. He wants to do it again. So you
Mm-hmm.
guys have had a little bit of time to do this. How long have you been planning nationals?
We started kind of like figuring, of course, they put in the bidding a few years back, but we really didn't start thinking about it till last year. Well, last year we had AWSA nationals. So that was a bigger nationals thrown on to like the team here within like 90 days we ran it. The tournament director for that one was Andre and he did amazing. So I have big shoes to fill with that. Um, and then we kind of like started thinking about it. And then I would say like prep really didn't start until like March or April, but it's been getting more and more stuff to do every day as we get closer.
Okay, amazing. And so And so you guys been about a year. So you guys were right in the midst of COVID when that happened. Have you guys like dealt with COVID as you're basically inviting probably 2,000 people to come hang out?
I mean, we all thought like AWSA Nationals would never happen last year. Then it came up, everybody's regionals happened, and then it was like, okay, here we go with nationals, and we had everybody like registered to ski and stuff, and no reported cases of COVID or anything. Everybody was here, so just now, I guess with this nationals, there's been more of a question with like just schools, because like AWSA Nationals is up to your own discretion. Like if you want to go, you go. If you don't, stay home. This one you have to go through schools and stuff like that. So it's been a little different, but it seems like we've been holding our breath, and fall season has gone off, seems without a hitch from what we've heard. So we're looking forward to doing it this fall, of course.
Nice. Yeah, I know COVID's been at like the forefront of a lot of teams' minds. Like at the last tournament I went to, it was just terrible weather. Everyone caught a cold, and more than one person, including me, ran and got a COVID test during the tournament just to make sure that we were fine. So it's good to hear that so far you guys haven't, at least across the country, there haven't been any big issues.
Yeah.
Yep. And so with all this planning that's going on, what do you have planned for the week?
So for the week, of course, we got lots of skiing going on. And then we also have been doing like planning off the water activities. Some of them kind of came back to the water. So we have stuff for skiers to do every night. And when I say skiers, I mean everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman or a senior, like underclassmen. We have everyone over 18 is allowed to go to the entertainment. So on Thursday night, Conley Skis has sponsored a party with DJ Dirty Dan, and it will be at Uncle Earl's, which is about 1.1 miles according to a GPS from the host hotel. So super easy like to get there. And he'll be DJing from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. for everybody. There is a cover for under 21s of $5, but everybody else is allowed in, and it should be a good time. That's one of everybody who works at Bennett's. That's one of the favorite bars to go to on the weekends.
Nice. I think Uncle Earl's, is that like the regular like send the skiers there?
That is not where we send we send everyone normally to an after party somewhere else, which we'll get into that. But that's just this is another venue where everybody can go, so that people aren't hanging out at the hotels wondering where to go or trying to get to the bars downtown, which are a little bit of a commute. This is super close, and it'll be just skiers in the bar. We've rented the whole thing, so it's everybody's just us, which will be awesome.
It's crazy. That's amazing too, because I know that's one of the worst things about going like to a tournament, like just going to find something. It's fun to like be in like California, like, oh, we're at like whatever bar this is, but people quickly stop liking like huge groups of skiers unless you're all skiers.
Yeah, so it'll just be us there, which will be a lot of fun to have, and to have a familiar DJ who knows like all the weird and quirky songs that skiers love. They'll know them and be able to play them for everybody, which will be awesome.
So a big question with that is, have you guys recovered a copy of Rollins College?
I have DJ Dirty Dan looking for that. Yes.
Okay. I remember that was devastating news. I think in 2019 when I found out that like the band like got erased from Spotify. Yeah, but hopefully you guys track it down. I bet someone at Rollins has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then $5 is wildly reasonable for a cover. Like I'm surprised that you guys were able to swing that.
So that's just for the underage people. The bar is completely ours, so we'll send everybody there. Basically after you guys eat dinner, you can go there after that and spend the night or the evening there until you're ready to go to bed and come back here the next morning.
Great. So which day is that?
That's Thursday night. So that's the first night of the tournament. So everybody gets into town on Wednesday. Of course, we'll have practice on site Wednesday. There's a captain's meeting Wednesday night that will be at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And then Thursday night, after we do a full day of skiing Thursday, we'll have that party for skiers to attend.
Cool. So what else do you guys have scheduled?
So Friday, of course, we'll do tournament skiing. And then Friday, after we're done skiing, we're going to urge everybody to clear off site as soon as we're finished and we're going to send everybody back to the hotel. And then starting at 7 p.m., we'll have people starting to gather in the lobby because at 7:15, we have school buses there to load everybody up to bring them back to the site. We're going to turn on the lights and we're going to have an alumni night jump.
That's so cool. I heard like rumors about that from one of my friends who worked at Bench this summer. And then it's so cool hearing that that's coming together.
Yeah, it was a fourth event practice idea that me and one of the other people that work here came up with. And we were like, oh, it's a long shot. It won't happen. And then we started doing the logistics of it and made a couple phone calls and was like, oh, we can do this. And then, yeah, now it's taken off and is going to be quite the night. We have 15 alumni representing all the different regions. So we have skiers from the West Coast, skiers from the Midwest, the SAC, the SCR, everybody has someone to cheer for. And DJ Dirty Dan will be DJing that event with the Waterski Broadcasting Company's Tony Lightfoot doing all the announcing. And then after we're done jumping, if that's not enough, we have a concert from the Southern Angels that night for about an hour or so after we're done skiing until we load up the school buses and drive everybody back to the hotel.
It's crazy.
So nobody has to worry about driving. Luckily, everybody can thank OJ Props for providing transportation for everybody. They sponsored all the school buses to drive everyone to and from. And then the city of Zachary also is presenting the event. And we'll have beer for sale on site as a fundraiser for the Zachary Rotary Club. So they'll be selling beer to everybody on site to enjoy while they're watching the jumping or listening to the concert. And then we can thank Crispy Crunchy Chicken has put up a cash prize for the tournament, but it's not your traditional cash prize. It's going to go to the teams of the skiers. So like if someone from like we just announced them today. If you have like Grant Shipper were to win, a check would go to Iowa State. If Mariah Fields were to win for the girls, the check would go to Alabama Water Ski Club. So it's not like the individual skier taking home the cash prize like a normal tournament. It goes directly to their team. That's cool. Thanks to Crispy Crunchy Chicken. So. Oh,
that's so cool. And then was it like difficult trying to like narrow down which skier, like who you wanted to come jump, and from there like who actually would come jump?
So at first, I mean, we thought about like having the pros for a little bit, but for the pros, you of course have to get a lot more money for a cash prize. And B, like what is collegiate skiing all about? It's about the collegiate skiers. So we thought like, oh, what if we bring alumni back that everybody know and can cheer for? As far as guys go, as soon as like the rumor got out of, oh, we're going to do this, I had a list like that just kept popping up. People were calling me, oh, can I jump? And it like started to get out of control because originally we're like, oh, we'll just do 5 and 5. And we're like, that's not enough. So we're at 15 skiers. We have 10 guys and 5 girls. Now finding girls, they're a little smarter. So they're a little more reluctant to jump. But we did find 5 girls from every region. And so it'll be good showdown. And then we'll also at the night jump do all the D2 podiums. Cause I don't know if your team's ever been D2 at nationals, but like when we do the individual podiums for D2, they do them at the end of the day. Half the people are left. You can't track them down. Nobody's there to watch. And because of time constraints, we really can't do it at the banquet. So the night jump's a great platform to give those skiers like recognition for like their hard-earned individual medals. So we'll present those for all of Thursdays and all of Friday's skiings at the night jump on Friday night.
Cool. And then I know I poured through the list of your guys of the jumpers that were released. I think it was on Instagram yesterday.
Yes, we
thought it was
this first group of skiers yesterday on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. It was like I thought it was really cool seeing, especially like Grant Shipper and Riley Dalton, where they have skied open, and I love like calling Riley like a pro jumper. But
yeah, so not all of our skiers have their open rating. There's a few of them. A couple of them are like coming here straight from Worlds because World Championships finish 5 days before Collegiate Nationals, which for like some of the officials and crew around here, like it's a tight turnaround to like make this event happen. But then some of them don't have the open rating, and some we haven't 100% decided how the cash prize is going to be like broken down, but we're definitely going to do where some of it can be won by anybody. Like it doesn't have to be the best jumper on the water. Like if they might jump the best for their abilities, and that could earn them like handicap or average. And then we also are hoping to do some sort of spirit award. We're waiting to see what exactly we can get donated so that we would do like a separate spirit award just to teams of the night jump.
Cool.
And that spirit award might have skis, it might have sunglasses or other cool product. We'll just have to see where it will go, but we'll be releasing more details on that sort of thing soon. One couple rules with the night jump, they're on the school buses. People can't bring any food or drinks, like just bring yourself and probably a jacket, because it does, I say jacket and it's not cold compared to like what the Midwest skiers are used to camping in and at conference, but it will be a little chillier than the day during the tournament. And then as far as eating, we'll have food trucks on site for the event. We have a barbecue truck and a taco truck that will be out to feed everybody. So if you didn't get a chance to eat, just get on the bus. You can eat at the site. And then the night jump, of course, is open to anybody. So parents, officials, anybody who comes like to watch Collegiate Nationals is more than welcome to come out and watch the night jump.
Cool. I'm sad that I didn't make regionals, because honestly, the 18-hour drive to not ski just can't happen. But I'd absolutely be looking forward to watching night jump. I'm probably gonna have the webcast on the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm sick. So cool. So that is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturdays, that just is the big plan, the banquet, and then after party.
Yeah, so Saturday, of course, we'll finish up skiing. And then Saturday night, we have the banquet, which is at the Crown Plaza Hotel, like right where everybody's staying. And then the after party at the station, which is in walking distance of the hotel. Again, it's the same place last time, but we'll have the Southern Angels performing for us again, doing a different set afterwards. And that bar, of course, lets under 21s in as well. So anybody and everybody can go to the after party. There's no like exclusivity on age there. And then that after party is sponsored by HO, of course, the title sponsor.
Cool. So I know one thing about like you guys at Bennett, you guys always try to push and do like something like new and different whenever you guys host a big event. Mm-hmm. Is it ever like difficult to figure out like what the new thing is going to be this year?
I mean, Bennett's has done like very large night jump events in the past, and we were supposed to do a big one last year, but of course COVID canceled it. So that's one thing, like the night jump was like on the back of it. We're like, oh, we were supposed to do one last year. Like we were working with people for lights like last February before COVID was even a thing. So we already like had some contacts and stuff like that. And then as far as like sponsorship to get everything paid for, like we hosted AWSA Nationals last year. So we had all the contacts and stuff, like people are still in their same roles. So we knew exactly like who to call to get everything like situated. So I guess that's just like pushing the envelope, and it just happened like very quickly because we've done this before.
Nice. I know it's not to like say anything bad about other tournaments at other sites, but you can really tell like the experience level of somebody of like, this is your first nationals that you're like kind of in charge of, right?
This is the first national tournament I'm the tournament director of. Last year at AWSA Nationals, I was the practice director, which AWSA practice runs a little differently than nationals practice because each individual, of course, books their own sets instead of a team. So we ran like 800 something practice sets in 3 days, like very well-oiled machine. So I did that last year and kind of saw everything that Andre did. And then Andre now works for Action. So I took over the role of tournament director this year. Okay.
Yeah. Just like, so like even just that 1 year of being in charge really reflects on how much easier it is to, like you said, to know exactly who to call. And
I mean, I have Jay and Ann, of course, answer any questions like we might have like, this is what we did last time, because they of course have done it numerous times. Like there's too many times to even count that they've ran it.
Nice. And then, so talking about like the tournament itself still, do you guys have any like surprises that you have coming up for the week?
As far as like surprises, I mean, we got to keep them a surprise. I think the night jump will be the wow factor. Do have a couple like rules, like it'll go out on like all the documentation stuff going out, but we're asking for no motorized vehicles on site. We're really compressed. We don't want anybody to get run over, sort of thing. It's all in walking distance, like use your legs. We will allow dogs on site, but they have to be on leashes and looked after and cleaned up after. So nobody wants to ruin their day by stepping in a little dog pile. So we will allow that. And then there's, of course, as all collegiate tournaments are, no alcohol on site allowed during the tournament. Of course, the night jump is a completely separate event, sanctioned number and stuff like that. So it's governed under different rules. And then there's no coolers at the night jump. We will have beer for sale. So don't try to think, oh, I can drive myself and bring my own beer. That's not the case. There's no coolers or anything allowed at the night jump.
Okay, nice. And then, so the other big thing that you guys have announced so far, that you guys announced, I think it came out today, a couple hours ago, is the Michael Woodgate Memorial Scholarship.
Yeah, so we're doing the Michael Woodgate Resiliency Award. We're hoping this will become a yearly award. Of course, it has to be like gone through the awards chair and everything in the NCWSA at their annual meeting in January, but they have given us permission to present it this year, which everyone here, it's something heavy on their mind because Woody was such a big part of 2017 Collegiate Nationals. And then of course at Monroe, like there's like, for them, it's like moving on past him, like the first collegiate season after losing him. But the award will go to any skier who has been injured and made a comeback or in the process of making a comeback. Woody knew the road to recovery and getting back onto the water very well. He traveled it many times. So we thought that this was a good award to do in his honor. And then the memorial fund set up after his death, they approached there, and that's in England. They approached us about attaching a scholarship to it. And they're happy to announce that it's a $500 like scholarship to go towards training or to replace your equipment after you've like to come back. So, and it could even go towards like co-pays or skiing. It's up to the skier, of course. And each recipient or the recipient will receive a like pint glass, an English pint glass to say that they were the recipient of the award that year. And then we have a traveling trophy that will be posed. It's one of the wooden skis as well for the award.
It's so cool, like especially with the impact that Woody's had on like skiing, collegiate skiing. Like I'm not sure if you've watched these, but more than one person has like called Woody out by name as like one of the big people that kept them in collegiate skiing or got them in there, helped them out in some way. It's just so cool, like seeing like him help more, especially because I know a couple people have been injured this year, and it really does dig on them.
Yeah. So it's definitely a hard thing to do, but even like the skier doesn't have to have completed their recovery because like Woody had torn his Achilles and hadn't skied after he tore it the second time, hadn't skied since, but he still took on a role of boat driver, coach, administrator, helping run tournament director, that sort of thing. Like he was here last summer, and like we couldn't have done AWSA Nationals without him. Like he was just a constant person to, oh, can you do this? He was always like the helping hand. Like he might not have been in charge, but he was someone that like everybody counted on for different roles and tasks. So that's been one thing, like, oh, who do you call for this? And we multiple times we always think, oh, this person, Woody would know. But of course.
Yeah. No, and so with that, I glanced through the NCWSA article about it, and it's people who are teams who are skiing at nationals are the ones who can have a nomination.
Yeah, so your team does have to be skiing at nationals, and we just wanted it to be at nationals because that was Woody's favorite tournament. Like if you asked him in any sort of skiing, like he's skied in at high level like world events and as well as like British events and USA events, and he was like his favorite tournament was collegiate nationals. So we'd like it to be teams that are at collegiate nationals and skiers who should be skiing or have already made the comeback and are skiing with their team on the water, if that makes any sense. And then it's nominated via Google form. We've attached it on the website. We'll have like a QR code on site if you think of anybody on site like during the tournament to nominate. And all those nominations will be read to the judges on the last judges meeting, and then they'll be voted on who would receive the award, and then it will be presented at the banquet.
Okay, nice. And then with that, do you have an idea of what the ideal candidate would look like?
The ideal candidate would be someone who has had unfortunate circumstances either in their season, like this year, or the year before, where they've made a comeback to it or in the process. And like while they're hurt, they still came to the lake and drove. People helped on the like administrative side, like going to campus meetings, stuff like that, as well as working hard to get back on the water. Like if they've had obstacles in the way of their recovery, like being re-injured and stuff like that. So anybody who's shown like resiliency to get back on the water or stand by their team.
Okay, great. So that's most questions I have. Do you want to add anything before I move on towards the end of my like closing questions?
If anybody's looking to volunteer at Collegiate Nationals, we will have something going up on the website soon for people who want to dock start, trick camera, help run the webcast. Collegiate Nationals isn't put on without an army. So we're asking people to help fill in our army of people to help make the event a success.
Great. So I'll be sure to share those as they come out, hopefully get people signed up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I have 3 closing questions for this. So I
Mhm.
mentioned earlier that in 2017, that was supposed to be Jay's last nationals. And then so said he'll do one more time.
Mhm.
This is that time. Do you think this is actually going to be the last one?
That's a question for Jay Bennett. I'm not Jay Bennett.
That is a great non-answer. Yep. Okay. And then, so you guys put on AWSA Nationals last year. NCWSA, you have put on NCWSA this year. And as a site, you guys have done it countless times. What kind of advice do you have for someone who wants to like build out a big tournament?
Reach out to the network of skiers, call other big sites that you know have hosted big events. Use USA Waterski and AWSA. Use like the community out there, like the water ski family is so tight, like use those resources, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Then, so along similar lines, like I said earlier, you guys aren't shy about doing something new, which in skiing, I've noticed that skiing is very much kind of a traditional sport where if there's a way something's done, that's the way it's going to be done until like someone forces it otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys like go about doing so much new stuff? Like what advice do you have for like starting a new thing?
I mean, if you like have a new idea or something, like bounce it off other people, like see if like the logistics of it, and then just go for it.
Cool.
Like we had for the like night jump, we had to make sure like all the logistics and it was possible. And I was like, okay, we can do this. It's going to be a lot more work, but let's do it. Like, let's up the ante. Hopefully it becomes a yearly event, but that's a challenge for San Marcos to figure out next year.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I think because I think when I was at Belacqua last time, because I think it's usually like you guys, Belacqua and San Marcos basically rotating, right?
There's been a couple, Cyprus has done it. There's been a couple other ski sites in Texas that do it.
Okay. Yeah, I've noted. I think I saw lights at the California site, so hopefully they'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, next year it would be San Marcos Challenge. They have hosted night jumps there in the past.
Perfect.
But that's up to them. I mean, lights are expensive. We just got lucky. And then school buses are very expensive. We were surprised when we were like, oh, we'll just drive them back and forth. And then it was like, oh, that was going to be expensive. So then we were going to charge skiers to come. And then luckily OJ Props came. We like put it out there. Does anybody want to sponsor our school buses? And OJ Props came through. So shout out to them. If you need a prop, go to OJ.
I would say I've definitely been with people who need new props, and OJ is always their first call. They're like great people, super easy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely great people for props. I'm sure other boat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then my very last question. So you unfortunately never made it to nationals, but do you have any, like as a skier, but do you have any like single favorite memory from just going to collegiate nationals?
I would say like my favorite collegiate ski memory for me was winning 2017 regional Midwest regional jump title. I jumped a 19-foot PB at regionals
Crazy.
to win, which was really cool. And then it was like disappointing to have your team come so short to making it after that. But then like as far as like collegiate nationals, I would say it was definitely this nationals. Like I came down with the KU team that year, and it was like so much fun. We went to New Orleans beforehand, so
Great.
I would say nationals here is of course, the most fun one. That's why we're here.
So 19 feet is a crazy PB.
Yeah.
What was do you remember what was going through your mind while you were still in the air?
I mean, I thought it was a good jump. I was shocked by how far like they were saying that like it was, and it was my second jump, and I had too much adrenaline to even like think about the third jump. Like it was definitely the victory pass to the shore to my team.
Nice.
So
That's always fun. So that's all I have. Do you have anything you want to add before you finish up?
we'll see everybody in less than a month here, October 21st.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
And good luck to all the teams at regionals in the coming weeks.
Great.
We can't wait to see you.
Mhm. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, everyone who's made it this far. Good look at regionals, good look at nationals, and then have fun on your trip down.
Mm-hmm.